All guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboards, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bale in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host D-Train, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host D-Train, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
Oh, she did them today, cuz? I said she did them today. All right. Yo, hold on. All right, we right back like. Shout out to the Seahawks. They played a hell of a game. They beat the Patriots. Um, the redemption for the franchise versus the franchise thing. Um, Sam Darnold, the first one out of a nice quarterback class to actually get a Super Bowl. Didn't get an MVP. Didn't lead the league in passing and rushing. Was the first to get a Super Bowl. Um, wide receiver O State, Jackson Smith Enigma, offensive player of the year type, Kenneth Walker, Big Ten running back, He got Super Bowl MVP. And it goes to show if you got a quarterback, a running back, and a receiver with a nice defense, you can make it work. In Browns news, right? Let's talk Browns. That's what I come up here for, man. We could talk about everybody, but I just really want to talk about the Browns. David Njoku not coming back, so it seems. And I hope that it's too early to tell. But I would assume that the numbers for what they want to do and the philosophy of offense probably don't match. And maybe David Njoku just probably think he can get more money elsewhere with a nice change of scenery. And that's okay. Him and Miles got drafted together. I would like for them to have stayed. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see David Njoku use his max potential on a regular basis. If this is his last time playing in Cleveland and his last catch was a touchdown from Shador Sanders. I wish Chief nothing but the best. I don't want to see him leave, right? I don't, but I understand. With that being said, it makes one look at, well, what? What do the Browns have on offense without David Njoku? You have Quinshawn, who you drafted last year with Harold Fanning, and Jerry Judy, who you re-signed last year. Isaiah Bond, who you picked up later on. Dylan Sampson, who you drafted. And then you got DeJuan Jones, Zach Zenter, Luke Wiper, I think, on contract. Right? This is your complete offense. So, first off, let's stop having a quarterback conversation. Oh my God. Cleveland fans been so y'all got PTSD. Y'all just so used to talk about the quarterback position. That's all y'all. We don't need to talk about that right now. Let's talk about what offense we gonna have because this is a new regime. So everybody's just under the impression that Todd Monken sees these weapons the same way as Kevin Stefanski did, and that doesn't make sense. Todd Monken is his own man. They paid this man a lot of money over 5 years to build his own offense. Do you really think that his first pick at number 6 is going to be a lineman? I'm not saying that the Browns don't need a lineman because we do. And I'm not saying that it ain't some linemen up there who worth the number 6 pick. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, even on top of that, this is a new coach, 60 something years old, with his first time at building his own offense to his specifications over a system that he's perfected over decades. Do you think his first option is going to be a lineman? That's all I'm saying. Arguably, this is the pick that's going to make or break his coaching career. You know what that tells me? He's going to pick the best playmaker on the board. Oh, Andrew Berry, the GM, he picked the players. That's true. But Andrew Berry has a proven track record of not being the best at picking offensive players on a consistent basis. He hit more on defense than he did on offense in the draft. So now that you got an offensive minded coach, um, and that's the head coach, I'm pretty sure he's picking his own offense, right? And I don't see him hanging his hat on that. He is going to get the best playmaker on the board. That is my opinion, regardless of position. That is what I think head coach Tom Monken is going to be pushing for. The best playmaker on the board. He don't want to hear nothing about what Andrew saw, why, right? Because everybody got to earn their spot, right? And even with Seattle winning the championship, they still had all year it was Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Jackson Smith with AJ Barner. You feel me? And for what the Browns have, I think the Browns just want to be explosive. I think the name of the game with the defense that you got is put up points. You need as many weapons as possible. When you got a good offensive line coach, you can pick up some pieces and turn them into something. So I think now I think it's possible that you could look at old players that he might have had in college and stuff and think that they might come. Like if they truly believe that Quinshawn can be everything they want him to be without, that much help. I ain't gonna say without that much help. Without having to share the responsibility. I could see a world where Nick Chubb come back, right? He could be old bruiser back, third down back. You know what I'm saying? He done played somewhere else, got a little taste. He might want to come back home. You feel me? Play with Monkey, somebody I think believe he played with before, right? Um, Dallas threw the franchise tag on George Pickens. AJ Green got a $29 million guarantee for his next contract. I mean, for next season on his contract. I heard some talk about Brandon Ayuk, but I'm just thinking in the mindset of if I've been waiting 4 decades and I'm from a family of coaches to have my shot at the NFL of building my own offense to my own specification, and I'm coming to a team that has an elite defense, and I got 3 of the first 30 something picks, 4 in the top 100, 6 in the top 150. You don't think I'm gonna build the offense I want to build? You think I care about anything anybody else talking about? I'm gonna build what I want to build. I don't care who there with what. I'm gonna build what I want to build. Now, from my standpoint of, I'm a firm believer in that teams have to get their weapons first and then find their quarterback. Some people like to build their uh, quarterback around they build their weapons around their quarterback. I think you need to just put the best possible team together with a philosophy or a system, right? Whether you favor it or pass to set up the run or the run to set up the pass. That's all you're really doing, right? Football is a simple game. You either running some type of run dominant system to help set up some type of passing game, or you're running some type of passing game that helps set up the running situations where you utilize quick passing plays, West Coast offense, as an extension of running or a substitute for running plays. You're only doing one or the other. And anything else is a variation of those. So you looking at, you say get all your weapons, and then you find a talented quarterback. Okay, boom. While he developing, you got a team and a system in place. Y'all, hopefully, y'all win, right? And then when people start getting expensive, you got a quarterback that you figured out, and now you can start building the offense tailoring around that quarterback. But very rarely does it work where you get to tailor the quarterback to the team. You just put the pieces together. You get as many talented guys as you can, right? And then you see what their strengths are, and you play with that. I mean, that's how this works. So, um, oh, side note, they had a defensive coaching interview for Audrey Bryant. If I'm saying his name was. Let me check that out because I think I might have messed dude's name up. But he used to work for us before, and he just spent time in Seattle, I believe. Uh, or yeah, passing game coordinator, assistant head coach. But they want to bring him in to run the defense. Cool. I read somewhere where they said he specialized in secondaries with the man in zone, and he was really good at blitz packages. Uh, so I trust Andrew Berry and head coach Todd. I trust general manager Andrew Berry and head coach Todd Monken to pick the right man for the defensive job with staff still in place. Now you gonna run into the same hiccup as you had is this dude gonna want to come in and change the defensive staff that we got, or is he gonna be willing to keep these positional coaches that's gonna help us maintain the knowledge on how to utilize these guys best that we got, and then just adding your flavor to what we already do well, because that's what this is. You got an established system that runs well. You just bringing in somebody that's gonna help perfect it. Uh, because right now, the Browns ain't expected to win. When you got a defense like that, if you could be competitive on offense, you can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you could really, really, really figure it out. So I feel like head coach Todd Monken is about to build the offense he want to build. And I think he's going to start with guys who can make plays. He going to start with guys who score touchdowns, guys who are dynamic. I genuinely think hey man, call me crazy, y'all, but I feel like I think the Browns might take Jeremiah Love at 6. I hear what everybody's saying, but you want to start with a guy that you know is going to really turn your franchise around. And I feel like that's a guy. Carnell Tate could be a guy. Mekhi Lemon could be a guy. Jordan Tyson could be a guy. I just think when I add in the factor of this is a 60-year-old man's first time head coach after coaching in the NFL for a couple of decades, I I genuinely think his first pick is going to be somebody dynamic because as far as he concerned, he's starting from scratch. Like us as fans and us as outside viewing in, we can say, yeah, we feel like he got this and he's starting with that and he's starting with this, but in real life, he's starting from scratch. You feel me? He started from scratch to build his own thing. So I feel like, wait, hold on right quick. Yeah, though. So I feel like starting from scratch like that, man, you gonna hang your hat on something that you can build around. Like you want something to build your offense around. It's gonna have to be a playmaker, right? So I think the Cleveland media sports talk should be who are the best playmakers in the draft and what combination of playmakers could you put together to make an incredible offense around, right? Because how fast your weapons is going to dictate the type of offensive line you need. Like, you're going to draft this lineman and he might be cool, but the runner, he may be too slow for the running back. Maybe too bulky for the receiver. Like you don't know. So if there's not a quarterback that you want to build around, and I think the Browns have a great quarterback room already. So I don't think he need to worry about that. He can figure it out with what he got and get him some pieces, and then he can use next year or the year after to go as a quarterback. But right now, what combination? I keep saying this. If the Browns could come out of that first round of the draft with Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate, that's the draft right there. If they come out with Jeremiah Love and Mekhi Lemon, that's the draft. But I think they should take Jeremiah Love, bro. I'm gonna keep saying this too. For one, if you believe Shador as a quarterback, then you know something that he never had was a dynamic running back. Now he got one in Junkins. Junkins fire. But again, when Junkins won a championship in college, he was half of a whole. He did something well, and Travion Henderson did something well, and they shared the load. I don't understand what would be the difference here for the Browns. The Browns have a history of doing well when they have two running backs in their backfield. You put Jeremiah Love with Quinshawn Junkins and Harold Fannin and Jerry Jeudy, you got a nice offense of weapons. You combine that and you add a Tate, it's over with. Now, they could do something like, I don't know, grab McCall Lemon or Jordan Tyson with 6 and then come back and maybe get, I don't know. See, Love the best playmaker in the draft. You know what I'm saying? It's some other guys that you can get in the later rounds, but Jeremiah Love the best playmaker in the draft. If I'm sitting there at 6, I'm either getting a receiver or the running back. And I don't think, even though I think the Cardinals should draft him, but the Cardinals could be thinking about what the Bengals did, right? And they could put Carnell Tate with Marvin Harrison Jr. And he could be gone. We're not the only team that could use an offensive lineman. Tennessee could use an offensive lineman. The Giants could use an offensive lineman. The Raiders could use an offensive lineman. There's no foregone conclusion that Mendoza falls. But I don't think the Browns should be trying to draft Mendoza no way because it don't make sense. I would draft Love because I know he gonna be there at 6. Because every other quarterback, this is a copycat league. Everybody else gonna be scared to take him at that, but we gonna be able to bring him over here and say, hey, you're gonna come over here and be able to be a playmaker. We didn't get Travis Hunter last year that can play offense and defense. But this year we double back and get the guy that can play receiver and running back to go with the running back and tight end that we drafted last year. Boom. And you can come back later in the draft, you can get a Denzel Boston, you can get a Chris Bell. It's some big receiver targets that you can go for. But you need playmakers. I think about Jahmyr Gibbs and how he has helped that Detroit offense and how Detroit could use a quarterback. You know what? If Mendoza fell to Detroit, that would probably be the best thing for Mendoza. I think Mendoza in Detroit would probably be the best thing. Because there's weapons over there already. He's got to get him the ball. It ain't got to be all on him. Yeah. But I think I just ever since I seen this man Tate, man, but and then you put him with Watson, and it's the Fanning. I think they're gonna draft a tight. They definitely drafting a tight end, and it's a few tight ends in this draft that's traditional. That could just come in and be a traditional tight end while you move Harold Fanning around. Because I think if you just try to leave him straight at tight end, you're not gonna get the most out of Harold Fanning Jr. You got to still be able to move him around, which means you got to get a reliable every down or at least early down tight end. Traditional, still got good hands. You know what I'm saying? And then like you want to have when you're building an offense, you want to have as many playmakers as possible. I don't know nobody who's a first time head coach who supposed to build an offense, and their first pick is a lineman. No, you gonna get you a playmaker, preferably a quarterback, but the next best thing is a running back. On a receiver, it's a few receivers in this draft that you could definitely do some things with, but there's only one Jeremiah Love. I think he looked good in the Browns jersey. I'm gonna keep pushing for that. I ain't gonna even lie. The linemen, I definitely want some linemen. I definitely want to see what they're gonna do. Like I kept saying before, and I'm gonna say this again on this one. The Browns need to use the offseason and free agency to bring in veteran linemen that they can get to fill in gaps. Uh, Guys trying to prove themselves, like Barry do with the receivers. If they can get one big name established guy to anchor that line, that would be awesome. Um, but I think it's usually for that and to re-sign their players. You're not gonna re-sign Njoku as it seems. So you definitely can re-sign Devin Bush, lock him in. Uh, you might want to extend Malik Collins and keep him for another year or two. Um, Other than that, I mean, you might want to bring in a couple linemen like Tevin Jenkins. You might want to bring back Cam Robinson. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, bro, yeah, this shit about to start from the root. So, just to all my media people out there, to all my people out there when we talking sports, understand that the Browns is building this offense from scratch. So even though we know we got some pieces on there, I'm gonna need y'all to go about this thought process as if you're considering the fact that this 60-year-old man wants to build his own offense from scratch. And I don't think he's going to start with a line. I just don't. I don't see how that bodes well. I genuinely believe he's going to start with. Hold on. Yeah, he got to start with a playmaker. So I think everybody should be trying to figure out what playmakers you trying to pair up to build the offense around. What playmakers should you build up that should you pair together to build the offense around? Right? You definitely want to consider the fact that you got a couple pieces already. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, all information is good information, but you should definitely be thinking about that. This Todd Monken's offense. This ain't Kevin Stefanski offense. This ain't Andrew Berry offense. It's Todd Monken offense. As far as we know, he is the most mature and tenured football mind in the building. So how you gonna question him and he's been successful? Uh, Let him do what he want to do. With that being said, man, we gonna get on up out of here. D-Train, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at D-Trent. If you missed the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Radio, Public, and various other streaming platforms. Just look for the Industry Sports channel. Like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you will see Game Changer Sports Talk with yours truly, D-Trent. Man, we try to come back on like Thursday, man. I'm off Thursday. We can try to come back and talk a little more basketball going into the All-Star game. Talk about the 3-point competition and other little things going on and some other interesting storylines going into the All-Star game on the basketball side. It was a pleasure, though, man. One love, y'all. Be easy.